YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Knowledge here from Gamers Little Playground, and today we're talking about the much anticipated Dying Light. People have been waiting for this game, and now we want to let you guys know whether we think you should buy it or not.
Right, we played it. I played it the other day. We had finished it one day.
Yeah.
Just straight through, but we're gonna just give you my impressions, what I felt overall.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
So I think first off, let's talk about people want to know about the story.
Right. So this game kind of like made it out to be like it was gonna be very scary, very like the story was kind of like scary based, but it isn't really.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a kind of survival horror, like to its core type of story, that's not what this is.
Yeah,
at all.
you kind of really get like a kind of like a political thing.
Yeah, that's what I felt
anything.
too. Yeah, I mean, I did like the story after I got into it. I liked the stuff that was going on, but it definitely at first I was like, oh come on, like
Yeah, it was definitely it's definitely if you played Far Cry,
yeah,
you're gonna feel the same. You're pretty much Ajay Dali, like
yeah,
you're just running around doing stuff for people, and it's not.
And you're the only person in this whole world
yes.
who can accomplish this
You
one
learn,
mission.
You learn free running in like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you're set for the rest of the game, which is fine, whatever. I'm used to games doing that, but it was just it didn't feel scary like I was expecting it to be. The name Dying Light and the zombie feel. I mean, the zombies were there, but it definitely didn't like. They weren't super. It was more about the bad, one of the bad guys one of the antagonists that you meet later on.
Yeah, I mean, the zombies are just the backdrop.
Pretty much.
That's not to say that there's not any scary moments. There are some moments that you'll like jump and be like, oh shit,
At
like,
night.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, and that's the tag of the whole game is good night, good luck, and it is like it gets real when it turns dark. It does have those moments, but. Yeah, I think overall the story to me is about like what happens in society when civilization dissolves, and it doesn't matter. The reason it dissolved in this game was because zombies took over, and what happens to all the people who are living in this like society. Right. But it could have been anything. It could have been like a fucking bomb went off and killed a bunch of people. It could have been anything else. Like that's the real story is not the zombies. They're just kind of they're there.
Yeah, which a lot of these games it's kind of like weird that they wouldn't focus so much on the zombies. They talk about the outbreak.
Yeah.
And that, but they don't focus on the zombies themselves. They focus on what's going on.
And they barely talk about the outbreak. They talk about the outbreak a little bit. Like you don't really know why. You know why or what. And
there's assumptions.
And it doesn't matter at the end. So I think if you're expecting Last of Us or like The Walking Dead, that this is not it. this is not it. And like I said, the story is actually pretty good if you get into it. But that's if you enjoy that type of story.
Right. Like my best comparison story of a recent game is Far Cry 4.
Yeah, it is, and like you told me yesterday, it's kind of like a Far Cry 4, but without Pajan Min.
Yeah,
like who's really there's no like antagonist or villain who's just like so charismatic.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Pajan Min, you don't see him that much, but he's charismatic. But
he steals every scene that he's in.
In this game, the bad guy the antagonist doesn't really do much. I mean, doesn't do that to me the same way.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about gameplay. They made a big deal about the free running. How did you feel about the free running?
The free running was actually really fun once I got used to it. I was off rip. I did not like it.
Yeah.
Just because it was my right bumper to jump.
Yeah, that was one thing you were mentioning when you were playing is that the controls were kind of messed up.
Like, yeah, and it's not that it was messed up. It's just that for especially games like this, I'm used to jumping or something like that.
Yeah.
But this game I had the bumper, and then your melee was also trigger, and I'm not used to putting both my fingers at the same exact time.
Yeah.
But after I got used to it, after I played it for after the prologue, pretty much, it was good.
Yeah.
The running feels not as like clean as something like Titanfall or Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
But it really works for this kind of game.
Yeah, because you don't want to be just some superhero jumping around.
Yeah, because I was making this is like the baby between Far Cry and Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
You have kind of like a more limited movement, but you have more movement than you do in Far Cry. But it feels like kind of like that kind of game. There was a couple missions where I was just like, I need to make it to the safe zone. I'm getting chased by like 18 million zombies, and it was really fun getting away because the zombies, some of them can follow you.
Yeah.
A lot of them can't jump.
Yeah.
But there's some that actually can jump almost as good as you.
Yeah.
But you can still outwit them.
And there's different type of zombies, right? Mm-hmm. There's just kind of like the slow
typical zombies.
There's like they had names for them too. They're like the exploders.
Yeah, there was some that they called exploders. There's bolters, which you don't see very often.
Yeah.
There's the volatiles, which are the ones that chase you at night, and then the runners, which are basically what
it says. Yeah. They run really fast. All right. Well, how'd you feel about the combat? I know that there's a lot of crafting in the game with the weapons, but I think for the most part you're just using melee weapons throughout the whole game.
Weapons are scarce.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. They have like a tier system. Like they're colored between common to rare or whatever it was.
And I'm assuming guns were the most rare.
Yeah, and even between guns you get them like different colors. But anyway, but guns were very scarce.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't scavenging a lot.
Yeah.
I did a lot of scavenging. I did like there's a lot picking mechanics similar to if you've ever played a game like Skyrim.
Yeah.
And some of them are hard and whatever, but there wasn't a lot of stuff that I was looking like. I think I played like 60% of the game without a gun. I didn't find one.
Yeah, it was a long time before we got a gun, for sure. I think it was at probably the last 4 hours of maybe the 12 to 13 hours you played.
Right. And the combat itself, because you're using mostly melee weapons, at the beginning it's kind of bad because you're going against these zombies. They take like 8 hits in the head.
Now and here's the thing is like I don't mind that it's melee combat, kind of close quarters. That's fine, but the inconsistency sucks. It's like we were saying, like, why does it take 8 hits to take a zombie out, and why does it take exactly 8 hits to take out a human? Like, there should be some differentiation between.
Yeah. And sometimes I would kill someone with 1 hit.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it was just I wasn't getting headshots because I mean, you apparently you could still aim because it seemed like I was getting critical hits sometimes, but I wasn't doing it consistently enough.
Yeah.
And some of the weapons have more power than others, so that also affected it. But I was still I had like a weapon that had like 40 attack and a weapon that had 200, and it still seemed like it was hitting them in the same amount of hits.
I just hit him like 10 times. Why doesn't he die?
So I mean, it's kind of fun, I guess, when there's one zombie.
Yeah.
When there's like 8 of them, you
gotta run.
Yeah, like this game, if you're expecting to fight a lot, I don't think you should be. You shouldn't play it slow.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't expect to be fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be like. I was thinking when I started, I'm gonna sneak around.
Yeah.
No, the parkour will get you around just fine enough that you won't get attacked, but not. It's not so. You don't have to go slowly.
Yeah.
It's better not to go slowly. And then the melee combat is just don't do it unless there's one.
Yeah, unless you're just like. I saw somebody playing. They're like, "Oh, you're alone. I guess I'll just kill you." Just because they're like,
and then 3 more come out.
Yeah, like, oh god.
But once you get some of your skills, because there's skill trees.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I had one skill where I was just doing drop kicks. Like
I saw that. Yeah,
you would run and just drop. I was like, I'm set. That's the only thing I'm using from now on.
So what would you say overall gameplay? You enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it. In the beginning, I really didn't.
Yeah.
And there's some encounters in the game because I was doing a one shot. I was playing it one day. I had to, obviously I got frustrated with it. But I know if I would have taken my time, I would have enjoyed it more.
All right, and then last thing I want to talk about then is kind of mission structure of the game. Like, does it get repetitive? Is it the same thing over and over again? I know in this game we had to set up like traps all the time, or just go like fetch quest, go get this, and
it was pretty much fetch quest and do this, do that. It wasn't. I mean, the traps were in the beginning. I thought those were going to be used very often. I set off one trap. During my thing, so I didn't play many of the side missions. Maybe those are a little bit different, but through the whole main story, it's pretty much you're just running through it.
Yeah.
You're just getting from point A to point B to go to point C.
Yeah, and then that can get frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, come on, it's 2015 now. We can diversify our missions, please. Something like, let me go kill a boss or something like, you know.
And there are those scattered around, but co-op was a little bit disappointing, but it ended up being fun. I played co-op for a little bit.
So, but like, the co-op is just doing the missions, but with people. But you can matchmake with people.
You can match. There's quick join. I'm sure you can invite your friends, but there's quick join, so you get, I think, a total of 4 people. Yeah. And there's 4 people that can play with alongside with, and there's 5 slots. Yeah. The 5th slot is for what's called the hunter. Yeah. Which comes and just invades your game and messes up everything.
So that makes it really fun. Yeah. And I get mad. Yeah, if you're playing with friends, I can see it.
Yeah. The disappointing part though is you're basically just doing the missions again.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they have something separate, as opposed to just the main missions. And of course, there is that extra mode which we didn't get to play because we didn't pre-order the game.
Yeah, and which I think that's what it is, that you get to be the hunter, unless I'm mistaken. Because I didn't see a way to be myself that hunter. So I'm assuming the people that pre-ordered it are the people invading my game.
Yeah. See, that must be fun for
that person,
for those pre-order people.
Yeah, but it kind of sucks. We were demolishing the guy at first because it was just 4 of us, and I'm sure the guy probably just started playing it. Yeah, we were just because we have to flash our lights at him, and he could be like,
I can't see.
And then I had luckily for me, I had already finished the game, so the people I was playing with, they haven't. Yeah. I had a shotgun.
Yeah.
So
you're just destroying.
Dude, yeah, it was fun.
Okay, last thing. This is the last thing before we finish. How did you feel about the open world? Like, was the world interesting? Was it, was there too many loading screens? Like,
there weren't a lot of loading screens. There were more loading screens in between big sections, so that was fine.
Did it feel boring? Did it feel like everywhere is the same?
No, there's definitely there's
variety.
There's variety. There's like there's places where it's just shipyards, and then there's a city area, so there's like buildings and stuff, and like I said, the parkour is really what makes the game fun.
And it's built for the parkour. Exactly. There's a lot of like rooftops and stuff.
As long as you keep your momentum, you can it gets pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, so should you buy Dying Light? I think if you're looking for a great amazing story, then no, don't buy Dying Light, because even if you do like that kind of political side of it, it's still
It's
lackluster. Yeah, there's not a lot going on. Like, you can get into it, but the gameplay is fun. If you enjoy survival horror.
Yeah, I hear a lot of comparisons to Dead Island, which I did play.
Yeah,
I played that game, and it is very similar. Yeah. It's made by the same people.
Made by the same company. So yeah, I think and then if you want to play a lot of co-op with have fun with your friends during the missions, I can see you wanting to buy it then. But definitely, if you're looking for that story experience, this is not The Last of Us.
If you're looking for a survival horror.
Yeah, if you're looking for survival horror, this is not it. This is a different type of game. Kind of, maybe I think it tries to do too much.
I can see that.
If they could have focused up a little more on just like survival horror aspect, or let's do a lot sicker parkour. Although it works for this game, but they could have done different things. But overall, I would say buy it if you want. If you want just fun gameplay, if you want to have fun with the gameplay. But if you want to immerse yourself in a story or be scared, no.
This is definitely a game that you'll have to play a little bit before you really, really like it. Yeah. Like, I don't think many people will just like it right from the box. Yeah. They have to level up, get a few weapons, because the beginning is really slow.
All right, wise words from Javi. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Remember to follow us on Twitter @GLittleP. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. The links are below. We'll see you guys later. Peace.